Hey guys, I'm Annie and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to sit down a bit and just talk about the Endwalker media tour that I attended just about 2 weeks ago. I am very happy and feel very privileged that I was even invited to such an event, so I wanted to sit down and properly talk about what actually happened. The day started off early in the morning with Naoki Yoshida talking to us about all of the thoughts around Final Fantasy as a whole, as a franchise, and as a game of the MMORPG as we play currently. He covered many things to do with Final Fantasy XIV, going back all the way back to ARR 1.0 and then coming to where we are now. As we all know, with Endwalker, the main storyline, the main story arc is going to have an ending and then something new will start after that. So that was something that he also was talking to us about. Something else that was interesting that Yoshida talked about was the trust system. So for me, as I still haven't really played Shadowbringers, this was kind of new to me. I am not familiar with the trust system. I did think that it was really interesting to hear what he's got to say about it. The idea is that sometimes people get afraid that when an MMORPG has too many things that are automated or played solo, that it takes away from the MMO feeling of it. But he was talking about how there's people who may, for one reason or another, not want to, or maybe be a little bit afraid of playing with other people and therefore never trying an MMORPG. But when there's systems in place that makes it easier and for the content to be more accessible, even for solo players, it might make them one day want to take that leap forward and actually play with other people as well once they are more comfortable with the game content itself. And I thought that was really insightful and very interesting to hear from Yoshida himself. After the introduction as a whole, we were all separated into different groups. I was in groups with Meoni and Shenpai, big fan by the way. We were all given access to Endwalker gameplay and we all just jumped in and were able to do whatever we wanted. When it comes to all of the gameplay footage and coverage, I want to specify that this is all subject to any changes or adjustments, and do not take whatever I'm showing here today as the final product. Thank you for understanding that part. The first thing I did when I logged into the game was immediately need to fix my hotbars and keybinds. For me, it's important to get those things sorted just so I can make sure that I'm comfortably playing, so I'm not worried about being able to press buttons, but instead focus on everything else that's going on. Once the binds and hotbars were to my liking, I started running around in the city. And the city is old Charleon with very beautiful views. I immediately wanted to go to the coast side and take a look at the water, take a look at the buildings, and also running in and out of different buildings, trying to get to the corners of... Oh, hi Luna. Trying to get to the corners of the map to see how far I can get. And yeah, it was... It's a really beautiful city, and I think Luna agrees here. After running around in the city for a while, I decided that, hey, I want my bunny boy to be, personally made by me. So I want to go back and customize it from scratch so I can be very happy with how it turns out. We were provided with Fantasia, so that was not a problem at all, and I was gonna get straight back into customizing my character. Something that I had not thought about was that I've always been so happy with my cat girl that I've never actually used Fantasia, and I got caught being stuck on how to actually edit my character, and somebody over at Square Enix noticed and kindly poked me when he saw on my gameplay that I seemed stuck, so I got help with that, and that was very nice. It's so nice and heartwarming that Square Enix are very much aware of how much experience I have in the game, so they are very fast with noticing little things like that, because I didn't even say anything, he just noticed it. The customizing of the bunny boy will be a separate video, so I won't show too much here in this one. While I was playing around with logging in and out of the game to create my bunny, I stumbled upon the Endwalker intro, and I know a lot of us have heard it and seen it quite a few times now, but it's so beautiful. Just listen to it. It's so pretty. Yeah. I just had to include that real quick because the intro still amazes me. It's so short but on point, and it's just such a great intro. It's perfect in every single way. Now that all the prep was in place, I finally wanted to actually play some Endwalker, and the first thing I wanted to do was to try the Reaper. So very close to where we started, I found some target dummies in the city of Thavnir, just by the coast. So I started going and just pressing some buttons and see what happens. The Reaper feels really cool, and it also looks very cool, as you can see. One of the things that caught my attention was that the Reaper, just like the Red Mage that I have some experience on now, has the 2 bars, the double bars. It is, however, played very differently. From what I understood when playing around with it, it's a lot to do with filling 1 bar in order to be able to use those resources to fill the 2nd bar, and then filling that 2nd bar in order to be able to use some other special abilities after that. And it was very interesting. I think I'm kind of realizing that I'm enjoying these type of bars filling up, some kind of progression in a way. I don't know, but I enjoyed playing Reaper. It was very cool. So after having played around with the Reaper a little bit, I wanted to try Sage. And since Sage is a healer, I didn't really want to spend time on the dummy, but instead I wanted to go into a dungeon. And I thought this is a perfect opportunity for me to try out the trust system. So I did. But before I did that, I wanted my character to feel a little bit more like me and not like this hunk bunny boy. So I went ahead and fantasiaed into a Lala. Playing the Sage in the dungeon felt really cool. By the way, we did not wipe a single time. My team, Alize, Thancred, and Estinian was top tier. We were so good. Anyways, playing a Sage was pretty cool, as it reminded me a lot of Disc Priest in World of Warcraft, with this atonement system where once you have these buffs on your targets, dealing damage to an enemy then heals those targets. And I thought that was really interesting. It felt good to play Sage, honestly, and the dungeon itself also looked really cool, with lots of different mechanics and many different places to run around in. I'm honestly very impressed with the whole trust system. Everything went so smooth. I remember at some point I was just standing there waiting for the tank to move forward and pull something, and then I realized nobody is moving unless I move. So I started moving myself. But overall I had a really great experience, and I think it's really smart to have a trust system in place for whenever you don't really want to poke other people, but instead play with AI in the game that all come in the form of characters that we know in the story. So it was actually really, really cool. So now that I had gotten some experience playing the Reaper and the Sage, I wanted to go back to classes that I have been playing myself. So that's the Red Mage and the Summoner. And for both of them, what I did was playing around on the target dummy with their new abilities, reading them, and also, of course, checking out the visuals. I had seen the incredible visuals from the job action trailer, and this time I got to actually pull those combos off myself to see exactly how they look like. And yeah, they both look incredible. I'm in love with both visually, and I'm really looking forward to those changes. And I'm really looking forward to playing them more in the future too. Once I started feeling done with the gameplay aspects of things, I started my exploration journey, and I started in the zone Thavnir. And Thavnir is a very pretty zone with a lot of nature. You can see lots of trees and other kind of plants, lots of different animals as well. The whole zone is basically a big jungle, but still with very, very pretty buildings as well, and lots of colors. You have the more expected colors like green, yellow, brown, but you also have the more surprising colors like purple in there, just painting a very, very beautiful place across on the mountains. The zone is also surrounded by a coast, which adds the sort of water scenery to the whole picture, making it even more pretty, even more gorgeous, and I have to say I absolutely love how it looks like. It gives a very nice and alive feeling. And speaking of alive, it's a very, very big contrast to the next zone that I visited, namely Garlemald. Garlemald was the exact opposite. When it comes to colors, we had colors like black, white, and basically 50 shades of gray. And when you looked at the buildings, everything looked like it was in ruins. It gave off a feeling of a bomb had just been dropped and everything is just destroyed. And it's really interesting. I'm very curious about what is going on there and what we're going to uncover being in that zone, because there isn't much else. There is no real city there. Everything is in ruins and everything is destroyed. And it all gives off this sort of very empty and dark place vibe. Even though it is very dark, it still does come off very beautiful, as you can see in some of the scenery here. It's been designed to still be pretty, even though it's all in ruins. I think that just about covers the most important parts or my highlights of the Endwalker media tour. Something else that also happens was, of course, the interview with Yoshida-san, which I'm hoping to upload very, very soon as I have been able to put the audio and video together. Overall, I feel extremely blessed and very privileged to have been invited to something like this. I did not expect it at all, being someone who hasn't, been part of the community for very, very long, but I appreciate it so much, especially with the experience of being able to interview Naoki Yoshida himself has just been so incredible. It's nothing that I could have expected at all. Also, I want to do a shout out to all the people over at Square Enix for being so encouraging and supportive of everything that I do, and for also, again, inviting me to such an opportunity as this, because it's been a blast. It's been a blast. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you guys at home who are actually watching this. For those of you guys who know me, I am more of a streamer rather than a YouTuber. So having footage from an Endwalker media tour has been a new challenge for me to put together content in a very concise way for you guys to be able to take in, like I've done here in this YouTube video. I don't normally do things like this. So thank you guys so much for supporting. If you have any kinds of feedback for this video, please put it in the comments below. I will be making sure to read everything. And if you liked it, also don't forget to like and subscribe so I can, continue doing these kinds of things. Bye bye everyone, and thank you so much again. Bye!